Let's jump right in. Today, we're cutting through the sci-fi hype to see how artificial intelligence actually intersects with our daily lives. And to kick things off, let's state our exact focus for today. Unit 05, Lesson 01, Societal Impact, Misconception Check Video Overview. To really grasp the real-world consequences of AI, we gotta look past the headlines and examine how these systems are actually built.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with 1, the neutral AI misconception. Then move right into 2, evidence looking at human-centered AI values. After that, 3, we'll apply it with a school scenario. And 4, transfer that by changing the context. Finally, we'll wrap up with 5, human oversight and our conclusion.
All right, Section 1, the neutral AI misconception. We're diving into Big Idea 5 from the AI for K-12 guidelines, which is all about societal impact, and we are tackling a super common and honestly pretty dangerous myth right head on. Listen to this exact misconception. The idea that, quote, AI is neutral in every context. An efficient output is automatically beneficial, responsibility belongs only to the machine, fairness needs no evidence, end quote. Basically, the false idea that AI systems are just inherently fair, totally objective, and completely responsible for whatever they spit out. People so often just assume that, because a computer generated the result, it simply must be free of human bias. They think efficiency automatically equals goodness, but honestly, as long as we believe this myth, we literally cannot safely evaluate AI.
To completely bust this myth, we can look at how the OECD officially defines an AI system. They describe it as a machine-based system that infers from the input it receives, how to generate outputs. And that brilliantly highlights the core truth here. It is not a human brain. It doesn't actually think or care. It just infers patterns based strictly on the data it's fed. So, think about it. If the input data is flawed, the output is going to be flawed too.
Moving on to Section 2, Evidence, Human-Centered AI Values. Now that we know what AI actually is, just a system relying on inputs, let's look at the global evidence proving why that whole neutrality myth is completely false.
Let's see how this exact idea builds across global frameworks from some of the absolute leading organizations in the world. When we look at guidelines from UNESCO, NIST, and the OECD, absolutely none of them treat AI as this independent, flawless entity. Instead, every single one of them explicitly demands human accountability, fairness, and active risk management. Basically, the machine is not responsible. The humans designing and deploying it are. Take UNESCO's guidelines, for instance. They specifically state that AI systems must never displace ultimate human responsibility. Just look at their core principles here: proportionality and do no harm, transparency and explainability, and crucially, human oversight and determination. These exist because, a highly efficient output is not automatically a good one. Actually, efficiency without a focus on human rights can absolutely cause harm. And the NIST AI risk management framework echoes this perfectly. They explicitly say we must incorporate trustworthiness to better manage risks to individuals, organizations, and society. We have to actively map, measure, and manage those risks because AI design and deployment are never truly neutral. The tech essentially reflects the priorities and the blind spots of the people who created it. We cannot just assume fairness, we have to actively design for it and literally prove it. Okay, Section 3, Application, the school scenario. It's time to put these global principles into practice using a structured claim evidence reasoning, or CER, application to see exactly how this plays out in the real world. Let's make this highly specific. Imagine your school uses a machine-based AI system to recommend which students should be placed in advanced math classes next year. The machine processes the data and just spits out a list of who gets in and who doesn't. How do we actually ensure this system is fair? Remember, we just established we cannot assume it's neutral. To evaluate this properly based on human impact, let's step through our CER task. Step 1, identify affected people. Step 2, identify possible benefit or harm. Step 3, identify evidence needed. And Step 4, state one responsible check. First up, who is impacted here? Obviously the students, but definitely teachers and parents too. What's a possible benefit? Well, maybe it saves administration a ton of time. But what about potential harm? A capable student getting unfairly held back. So we need to figure out what evidence proves the system works fairly and what exact human check needs to be in place. The real core of this required analysis is breaking down the mechanics. We have to identify the relevant data and evidence, like past math grades or tests. We explain the model's pattern, which is inferring future success based on history.
And we identify the output or conclusion, in this case, the class recommendation. But here is the massive catch. We absolutely have to name a limitation or uncertainty. For example, what if a student had a terrible case of the flu during testing week? The AI completely misses that human context. It literally just sees a low number.
And because of that exact limitation, we absolutely cannot leave the responsibility entirely to the machine. Going right back to UNESCO's principle, the human or evidence check required here is that a teacher must review the AI's math placement output before a final schedule is made, someone who actually knows the student, who knows about that bad flu case. The machine assists, sure, but the human decides.
That brings us to Section 4, Transfer, changing the context. This is where we really test our understanding, because an AI's impact completely shifts when we change where it operates.
Just look at how the risk profile changes when we compare Side A, our school math placements environment, to Side B, a corporate job resume screening environment. The core technology, inferring patterns from historical data, might be almost identical across both sides, but the societal impact, radically different.
So the question is, which impact claim must be reconsidered in this new context? If the context shifts to evaluating adults for jobs, we have to rethink our claims entirely. Who's affected now? Adult job seekers with their actual livelihoods on the line. What are the potential harms? Say the AI learns from a company that historically only hired a certain demographic. Well, the machine might infer that only that demographic makes for good employees. Now the limitation isn't just a bad test day. It's systemic bias getting permanently locked in by an algorithm. The evidence needed to prove fairness here has to be incredibly rigorous.
Finally, Section 5, Human Oversight and Conclusion. Let's wrap up our investigation into why responsible claims absolutely always have to consider human impact.
All right, so it looks like we can safely leave that neutrality myth entirely in the dust. AI effects depend entirely on 6 key things: people, context, design, data, deployment, and oversight. AI is never just neutral. Its societal impact is the direct, undeniable result of human choices across every single one of those steps. The ultimate responsibility? It never belongs to the machine. The next time someone tries to tell you an AI decision is purely objective, you now have the exact tools to push back. Always demand evidence of fairness and always map out the real-world risks. It really leaves us with a fascinating question. If an AI is only as good as the humans who build and oversee it, what biases might we be feeding machines right now without even realizing it? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for Unit 05, Lesson 01, Societal Impact Misconception Check Video Overview.